hope you are having a fantastic Wednesday. I am Abby Glassenberg from Craft Industry Alliance, and we pop in here every Wednesday to do a member spotlight where we get to drop in on one of our members in their studio or wherever they work and find out about their work and their history and how they built their businesses. So we are very excited today to be talking to Lucy from Sash Charlotte. So she'll be joining us shortly. And while we wait for Lucy to arrive, let's see, I wanted to fill you in a little bit about what's happening at Craft Industry Alliance. So we have our Craft Business Roundtable coming up on Tuesday, so it's in less than a week. And we get together as a community on Zoom and talk about what's going on in our businesses and what's going on in the industry as a whole. It's always one of my favorite meetings. So I'm excited about that. And I see Lucy's here, so I'm just gonna let her in. So hopefully she'll be joining us shortly. So that's at 2 p.m. on Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern. We would love for you to come. If you are not a member yet, you can join now and still join us on Tuesday for the Craft Business Roundtable. So that'll be really fun. And then we also have a webinar coming up with Tammy Bennett. If you don't know Tammy, she is a fantastic creativity coach for entrepreneurs. And so she's going to be joining us to talk a little bit about kind of getting over some of those feelings that you have of maybe being an imposter or just not being in the right mindset to promote your business or to go out there and try to drum up new business for yourself, kind of feeling like maybe there's somebody else who would be better for the job than you, kind of some of those feelings that creep into all of our minds at times. So Tammy's going to be joining us on this, I believe it's the second Thursday in June. It's going to be a great session. She's going to help you kind of turn those negative thoughts upside down and make them into positive thoughts that help you propel yourself and your business forward. So we'll be publicizing that event soon, but all of our webinars are totally free for members and they are recorded. So you get access to our full archives when you become a member. So if you can't make the live event, you can still watch it afterward. And since we've been in business now for 5.5 years, we actually have a lot of archives and lots of webinars and live trainings taught by all kinds of experts in the industry. So that's that. And let's see, I also recorded some very interesting podcast episodes recently. One of them is with Tisa Jackson, and that is coming up on Monday. I need to edit that podcast audio. So Tisa is an amazing maker, and she has such a great craft story. Oh, hey, how are you, Lucy?
Hey, how are you?
Good. I was just talking about our podcast episodes that I've been working on. So, but tell us a little bit about where you are. You're in Charlotte, North Carolina, right?
Yes, we're in Charlotte, North Carolina, and unfortunately, we are the only fabric store located in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's an interesting town. It's changing, and we're the one of 2 yarn stores, and we're the only independent fabric store located in Charlotte.
And that is probably kind of a good thing, although maybe sometimes it might be stressful, I imagine.
Well, I wish there were other resources, and that was something I hadn't even realized until someone told me, and I just thought, well, that's bizarre. I mean, in a city this size, you would think,
Yeah.
right? I mean, there are quilt shops, but for apparel fabric, outside of like a couple of stores that sell like Indian sari fabric or the African cloth for like functions and events, there's nothing else out there.
Wow.
Which is really weird. Yeah.
Well, the community totally needs you. And it sounds like your store has kind of evolved over the years. Is that right? So you did start out just providing yarn, correct? And then kind of change the name to the evolution.
Well, so I'm the second owner. No, I'm the third owner. I'm sorry. The second owner was going to close it. This is 4 years ago. And I thought, oh, that can't happen. That would have left one yarn store, right? And so I bought it. And my entire retail experience was one summer at Lord & Taylor during college. But I had, a background in finance. So I know, spreadsheets and I are very good friends. And, these days with all the technology involved, that's like half the battle. So bought the yarn store, and then I also knit, quilt, crochet, sew, embroider. And so I'm like, I've got a store. I can buy things, right, for the store. And that's how I justified it. But then, and as I started to do that, customers started saying, oh my gosh, my girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. And they'd come in together. And so we started evolving into a store that now carries like this broad range. And I like to joke that, we have all your obsessions covered. And I changed the name to Stash because it had moved away from being baskets of yarn. But what I didn't realize, and this is for anyone who's thinking about rebranding, I was not aware that Stash had other connotations. Potheads, evidently, are very into their stash. So,
unfortunately, that is true. Oh my goodness.
I was not aware because I'm that clueless. It's led to some interesting conversations when I tell people what the name of my store is.
Sure, it's like Stash Charlotte. Is that like a place I can come, buy marijuana or whatever?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, so
I love that name, and I think that it does, you used to be named, as you said, Basket of Yarn, and, I think Stash Charlotte is a better description of what you have, and for me as a crafter would make me want to come in. And so it sounds too like you kind of you have a carefully curated kind of selection. So you're not just carrying like any fabric or all the fabric or any yarn or all the yarn. You are really picking and choosing with your eye as to what's there. Is that right?
Yeah, well, from a business standpoint, I can't compete with Michaels. I mean, they can get stuff cheaper. They can sell it for less money than I buy it for from the vendors. So I can't compete with them. Plus, I carry what interests me and my staff. And so we have the better quality yarns, the Liberty of London fabrics, those items that are difficult to find, especially for some reason in this region. New York's got a lot of it. The West Coast has a lot of it. In this area, there just isn't any. Yeah.
That's great. And so do you also, I guess, during non-COVID times, maybe coming into the fall or whatever, do you teach workshops for people who are like, oh, I've always wanted to learn how to knit, or they, want to improve their quilting skills and things like that?
Yeah, we, pre-COVID and hopefully post-COVID, we do have the classes. We're actually starting some classes for kids, for the homeschool kids, because there's so much math and science and even a little bit of engineering involved in sewing apparel. I mean, if you think about a sleeve, that's a calculation of a slope intercept, things like that, and the geometry's in there. So we're working on something for the homeschool group to hopefully mesh with whatever math curriculum they're using.
That's great. That sounds wonderful. And I wonder if there are specific kind of challenges or joys of owning a brick and mortar, since it sounds like that wasn't really your background, but you kind of took this on, that you've experienced that maybe people, I don't know, aren't expecting or just don't know about.
Well, it's, people think, oh, you own a yarn store, you must be sitting and knitting all day. Well, no, I actually have no time. Because it's about the spreadsheets, it's about the social media, it's about being on camera. So, before I bought the store, there's no way in hell you would have gotten me live doing something like this, right? It's not me. But you learn to do it because you have to do it because that's what's required now. But the other nice thing is that the customers are amazing. You get an occasional one that's just, like, today she's giving me a headache. But all the rest of them are amazing, and they lift you up, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's only a yarn store, right? But I've somehow positively impacted a life because we get these messages back, oh my gosh, I would never have tried this if you hadn't pushed me to do it, and it's blah, blah. And it's terrific. This is concrete. This is not, oh, I did an estimate or I did a projection for some company on their stock and blah, blah. This is like, holy cow, I've actually made an impact. And the other nice thing is getting to know other yarn shop owners. So, with all this nonsense last year with the shutdowns, there's a group of us that have always hung out together on Facebook. we got together and like basically helped each other through COVID. And this is a group I never would have met if I didn't own a yarn shop or didn't own a little brick and mortar yarn shop. You know, we did things like we created a national yarn, a virtual yarn crawl that we're going to do again this year. And there are these small rewards and pleasures from knowing these people, from knowing these customers that, you know, even a big deal corporate job, you're so removed from this. And so this is, it's almost tactile, you know, and it's fabulous.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And I love crafters. I love that idea of creating things for people to do, to express themselves in their free time as a hobby, the joy that it brings to other people. It's a great business to be in. And I also love craft business owners, as you said, with this group that you've been meeting together, because they're all people who share that passion of helping other people feel more creative, pursue creativity. And so it is very tangible. I mean, all of the rewards of that, plus all the product that you have coming in and get to play with and touch, even if you don't have time to knit. So,
so listen, we have all the toys, let me tell you.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's so great. Really, really wonderful. And so where in Charlotte are you located? So if people maybe in the surrounding area or maybe visiting relatives or, you know, traveling a little this summer could come stop by.
We are currently not located anywhere because we lost our lease in the middle of COVID.
Yes.
Yeah, so part of that whole, you do what? When people hear the name came from prospective landlords who were like, really?
Oh, right. So they
What?
dash,
Yeah.
thought of something else and then didn't want to rent you. Okay.
So we are getting ready to reopen, but that's still going to be in the announcement phase, and that's going to be in the next 2 weeks. We'll be announcing the new location.
Okay.
But it's in the city. It's centrally located, and it's a much bigger space than what we had. So we're really excited about all that.
Fantastic. I'm so glad you found a new space. And I know moving is going to probably be a lot of work, but it'll be fun to get everything set up. And the best, I know that you have an email list that you're maintaining. So people can probably go to your website, /Charlotte, sign up for the email list, and then they'll get the notification of the new address and how to come by.
Yeah. And, you know, Instagram, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Pinterest when I remember to post to Pinterest.
You and me both. Yeah, I hear you on that one.
And TikTok. Yeah, TikTok is next on the list, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I am way too old to be trying that.
You know, I love TikTok as a viewer. So, but I would not want to create TikToks either, but I do love it as a platform. So yeah, but I hear you. It's hard to do it all. So it's okay to do one thing at a time and take it slow. So, well, this has been fantastic, Lucy. I'm really excited for you. And my brother-in-law has a project he's working on in Charlotte. It's called Camp North End. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's my brother-in-law's project. So I'm hoping at some point, once we can travel again, that we'll make it down to Charlotte and then I can come visit.
Yeah, I actually looked at space up there. That's great. Yeah, it's an old, you know what it is, right? It's an old Ford Model T factory.
Yes.
It's fabulous.
It's huge.
Yeah. Yes. It's a terrific space. Yeah.
I know. I'm dying to come and see it. And there's great restaurants and all kinds of really neat businesses that have moved in there. So I think that will also just be good for the city in general. So it'll bring me down at some point. And I can Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it's great to chat with you.
Yeah, good talking to you too. Thank you for being a member of Craft Industry Alliance. And we'll see everybody next week.
Take care.
Right, bye.
Bye.